Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. That means it's TLC Tuesday. And that means I've got my girl Kimberly here to talk about 90 Day Fiance. All right. Heavy on the MP this week, light on the Kimberly. So that's good for you.
I'm just gonna sit back. I got no sleep last night. I'm just gonna close my eyes, let the
Now,
dulcet tones of Mary Payne just watch over me.
now, why didn't you get sleep last night? What's
I
wrong?
don't know. Sometimes I'm just not a good sleeper. I
Well,
have stomach issues. Yeah.
yeah, I told you I've finally gotten my sleeping medications just right. Ooh, did you get a
That's
lipsy?
amazing.
You got a lipsy.
I did.
Look how
Bye bye,
fun.
lip wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you,
No, thank
sir.
you. You can't get us. We've got lipsies. That's right.
Mm-mm.
Now, here's something
If you don't
exciting.
know what we're talking about,
You're not watching on YouTube.
you're not watching on YouTube. Mary Payne found the invention.
Well, I
Because I
got
had seen something like this before, but all the
mhm,
reviews were this was like a few years ago,
mhm.
and all the reviews were like, it's impossible to drink from.
Yeah.
And so this is really actually very easy to drink from.
Hashtag not a sponsor, guys. But I will
Should
tell
be.
you that a bunkie reached out on Facebook and said, I'm dying that you're talking about lipsies. A friend of mine is the founder.
No way.
Yes. And I said, well, tell them to reach out because we love it. But I have to give all the
Uh-huh.
credit to Deanna Chang of How to Be Less Old because she's the one that told me about it initially. So I can't take credit for finding it. I have to give the credit to Deanna. So
Mhm.
I told the bunkie, I was like, all credit goes to Deanna Chang of How to Be Less Old, but I have been promoting them and I put them in my Amazon store because I was like, in case you can't find them, you can find them there. But just LIPZI is how you find them.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And they work.
Because before you had to choose between getting your teeth stained by drinking regularly, like
Hmm.
commoner,
Right.
or getting lip wrinkles from sucking up through a straw.
Right.
And that is a Sophie's choice that no one wants to make.
That's right. I agree with all that. Um,
Mhm.
Kimberly, how are you loving your new headphones? They're wireless, they're cute, they match your shirt.
Thank you. they're so comfy and they
Okay.
don't make a weird buzzing noise that mine were starting to make because the
A-
cord got all bent.
And are they for a child? Because they look very small.
They're they're not, although I have used child ones in the past. I think my head is not very big.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. I'm a big kid. And again, like we were talking last night with Katie, and I use these they're called ear pods instead of AirPods. They're ear pods. So they're made by Apple. But I do, after being sitting here doing this, some days if I've had like 3, 4 recording, like a large number of recordings, I will feel that they're in my ears. Sometimes like when you feel when you get off a boat, you're still on a boat.
Uh-huh. Uh,
Or I used to feel when I used to ride the metro, like the subway back and forth to work, I would at night lay in the bed and feel like I was on the metro, like,
oh, that's so funny.
mhm.
Well, it's like the phantom vibrations you feel from your phone sometimes, even though you don't have your phone on you.
That's
Have
like
you ever
Pavlov's
had that?
dog. Yeah, I'm like, "Whoa." Yeah,
Someone's calling me. My alarm is going off. Nope.
yeah.
I'm just vibrating for no reason. That's not alarming.
No, I also fake it a lot of times to get out of things. Oh, gotta go, my phone's ringing.
Gotta go. I hope you have
Gotta
fun with this recording, Mary Payne.
yeah, bye. Um, okay, now a lot of people reached out to tell me that they saw from the previews that Mark and Mina were going to Bald Head Island. Now, maybe next week they're going to Bald Head Island, but this week they were not at Bald Head Island. They are
Mm-mm.
squarely in Southport. They show the Southport Tower many times. And he says at one point, see that island over there? That's where the family is. Completely wrong. You cannot fully see Bald Head Island from Southport, but okay. Okay.
Fakery.
So I had told my realtor there that I've been working with, I told her, get excited. Baldhead's going to be featured. And then I said, don't bother because they're just in Southport. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I have other issues with their storyline too that we'll get to when we do them. So
Hmm.
I'm excited that there was already one fakery.
Yeah. Now, maybe next week they get on the ferry and go to the island, but currently they're staying in a condo in Southport. They
Hmm.
like checked into a condo in Southport. I'm like, how much more Southport do you need to see? I got all excited too. I got all
Yeah.
excited. Because that's how I originally found Bald Head Island was from reality TV.
Really?
Yeah, and of course, talking about it here, lots of people here were like, "Of course we know about this place." I was like, "How would I know? I'm from Mississippi. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about North Carolina." Yeah, because Kate plus 8, when she was in the middle of the divorce, she
Mm.
took the kids to Bald Head because she was like, it's a place where like the paparazzi can't get them, but the paparazzi did get on boats and go around and look for them on boats. Yeah.
So the one good thing Kate ever did was
Hmm.
introduce you to Bald Head
That's
Island.
right. That's right. And now,
Good job, Kate. You're not as bad as we all say.
and now it will be my home one day, God
Yeah.
willing, putting it into the universe. Okay. I was a guest on Kimberly and Katie's A Date with Yellow Jackets, A Date with K and K. That is their YouTube channel. I was on it Sunday night. We talked for 2 hours.
Yeah. Katie
It
was like done.
it would have been 3 if Kimberly and I would have kept it going, but Katie was like,
Literally,
"And close it down."
yeah. I could talk about it for hours because then you just go to Reddit, you start talking about
Mhm.
through it. Like there's always something to talk about.
Same with White Lotus. So after we were done, I went and watched Sunday's episode of White Lotus, and again, I'm like,
I have not watched this season yet.
"What?
Yeah. Is it good? I didn't
Oh
really
my
enjoy last
god."
season that much, so I was sort of waiting.
It's so good. So there's these 3 friends, and one of them is like a famous actress, and the other 2 are just her friends from home, and one's like a business executive, and the other one's like a high society Dallas lady or maybe Austin, Texas,
Uh-huh.
and they're very different now, and it's interesting, like, the 3 of them are together, and then when
Yeah.
one leaves, the other 2 talk about the other one, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's very Housewives, and then Parker Posey, Laurel, Mississippi native, thank you very much. Um, they're from North Carolina, and Mike White has said that he told them all to watch Southern Charm to get the accent down,
Oh, I
and
love
so the
that.
guy that plays the dad sounds just like Thomas Ravenel. They're like, "Piper, come on now, what are we doing?" Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love the
Okay.
accents. I love everything about it.
Is there, like, a mystery going on or a
Yeah.
murder? Okay.
The very first scene, episode 1, minute 1, there's shooting and you don't know where it's coming from, and then that's our jumping off point to go backwards. Yeah.
Okay, great. I love
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. Guns in Thailand, interesting, right?
Yeah.
How would they have
Oh,
gotten
they're in
there?
Thailand?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in Thailand.
Okay, I'm in.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch. I just I had so much it was, like, too much with Yellow Jackets.
I
We're
know.
doing Amazing Race now,
Oh, really?
and we just finished Traders, and it was just, like, way too much.
I understand that. That's me with Temptation Island and Love Is Blind. Like, it was a
Yeah,
lot. This week,
yeah,
I feel like I'm just, like, skating along until the next thing comes,
yeah.
which the next thing is going to be The Valley. I'm gonna be covering that with Keisha on the $10 Prime feed. That starts
You guys,
April
life is
15th.
hard for a podcaster out here.
It's rough, especially when
It's
Bravo
rough.
refuses to give you screeners, you
Yeah,
know?
those
But
those people complaining that they work in mines really have it so easy because we have so much TV to watch.
teachers and nurses, stop complaining. What are you
Stop
doing for the
complaining.
world?
We are
Really?
the real heroes, okay?
Mhm. Firefighters, forget it.
Fight your
Um,
firefighters, Schmeier fighters,
that's right.
because yeah.
That's right. I heard something about the cleanup there in LA where the fires were. It's gonna say they said something like 900,000 truckloads to get the debris out of there.
Yeah, and I think there's a big problem with the toxic,
Mhm,
things from,
mhm.
like, I don't know, from batteries or from I don't know. There's, like, toxic waste,
Of course,
and
yeah.
they were just gonna use that soil to, like, rebuild their house, but
Mhm,
people don't want toxic soil at their house, obviously.
mhm.
So, that is, like, a whole other issue. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You just think about one person and the problem they have building their one house, and then you
Yeah,
multiply that by how many,
I know.
30,000 houses or something
Yeah,
crazy?
it's crazy.
Mm. Well, keep donating.
My
We
aunt
are
my
helping.
aunt knows 12 people that lost their homes.
Can you imagine? I've never known one person whose house burned down,
I know.
ever. And can you
Isn't that
imagine knowing
crazy?
12 people? Mm.
Mhm.
Well, I will tell you, and this is literally not an ad, but I know you guys work with Thrive Cosmetics as well,
Yeah.
and they give back. And do you know that they had that one day where they gave 100% of their proceeds to the LA fires, and they raised
I
$500,000 in one day?
shut up. That's
Mhm.
amazing. That is so cool.
Yeah.
We gotta say that in our next ad.
Well, that's what I was doing an ad, and, they wanna, tell you that Thrive Cosmetic gives back. So I just went to their website, just like they didn't tell me
Mhm.
any of this. I just went and looked for myself, like, what do they give to? And
Mhm.
that particular one really stuck out that they deemed one day
Yeah.
as a day that every 100% of their profits the entire day went, and it was $500,000 to the LA fire relief. It's pretty good.
That's amazing.
Mhm,
And they also give to, like, women in shelters and things like that,
mhm.
cancer research. They're really good company.
I'm
Yeah.
using my, Thrive, mascara as we speak.
I'm using my Thrive lip gloss as
Oh,
we
you
speak.
sure are. Guys,
Mhm.
literally not an ad, sorry,
Not
but
an ad.
it's not an ad, it just is a good company.
Yeah.
And so is Lipsies because now we love it. Mhm.
And you have a connection. I really think they should sponsor you because you know
Listen,
someone who knows the, creator. So
yeah, it's a bunkie. So, yeah. Anyway,
mhm.
again, don't ever wanna think I'm trying to steal Deanna Chang's thunder because she did find it first. And
No.
I got the glass ones too. So if you have something, in your house that you're drinking, I have a glass one, and it looks like a little flute. It's just a glass that goes like it's like a straw that goes like in a shape like this, and it's got like a flute thing. So it's the same idea as this,
Wait, it
except
goes on a glass?
mm-mm.
No, it goes on the straw.
The straw is glass. It is a
Well,
straw
for
that is
when the
glass.
straw is glass. Okay, I
The straw
understand,
is
okay.
glass. It's a regular
Yeah,
size straw instead of like a plastic or a paper straw. It's a glass
yeah,
straw, but it goes up and across, and then the hole is this way, so you're
like
not
a flute, I
doing
see.
that. Mhm.
Uh-huh, okay. I never use glass straws because I don't like the sound if, like, my teeth hits it.
I've never had a glass straw, so, and haven't had a chance to have a beverage with it, but it's in my kitchen, and I'll be ready because I don't do anything without a straw. The only thing I do
Yeah,
without a straw is coffee, because I drink hot coffee, but maybe the glass
but
straw will
then
solve that.
staining your teeth, that's
I
the
know.
issue.
I
Mhm,
know.
but your teeth are always white, so
No,
whatever you're
they're
doing
not.
is working.
No, they're not. I just use regular toothpaste, and they're not always white, so
I
don't get
haven't
too
brushed my
close.
teeth today. Don't get too close either because I haven't brushed my teeth yet.
Woo! You know, I brush my teeth like 10 times a day. Like, I can't stand to eat anything and then not brush my teeth immediately.
That's amazing.
I
Wow.
can't
That might
oh,
be too much, actually, that might be overkill,
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's bad.
but I'm still impressed because that's a lot more than I wa brush
I
my
just
teeth.
I can't stand that feeling of having stuff in my teeth. I can't.
Yeah, I
Every
understand.
night, I'm just really
I floss
flossing.
a lot. I use floss picks all the time.
So does my
Yeah,
husband.
I
You know,
love
on Love Is
floss picks.
Blind, Joey was walking around one time, it wasn't Joey, it was the guy that was the dentist, I think. Somebody was walking around, like, always with the floss pick in their teeth, like, other people are like, "And then she told me she loved me," and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe," and the guy's like,
Gotta get that broccoli out of my teeth.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, really, man? That's deep." Dig, 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 dig into his teeth.
I love it.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
hilarious.
I never go on and really read my, Spotify comments just because it doesn't, like, pop up to tell me to do that, so
Yeah.
I got a note, "Oh, you have a new comment on Spotify." I was like, "Huh." So I went and looked at all these comments on Spotify. So if you've ever commented over there, I'm not replying. It doesn't alert me. So I need to go
Yeah.
in and fix that. But I went in and replied to a lot of people today. And one of them
Oh,
was, "I love that you guys are just trying to tell yourself that Love Is Blind is so good. It's actually terrible."
that's what half the show is, like, mental manipulation, cognitive dissonance, but sometimes
Yeah.
we're trying to convince ourselves these people are terrible because it makes for
Mhm.
better TV, and they're actually
Yeah.
not that terrible, and then
Yet.
sometimes it's the opposite, and sometimes we have to convince ourselves that a storyline is real and it's clearly fake. So, you
Yeah.
guys, we're messing with our brains for you.
Ooh, I sent you something today, but now I can't remember what it was. I sent you something on Instagram. There was a big it was a big expose of the 3 dum-dums, the, Amini, Amani, Annie, Ani, and
Oh,
Matt.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I sent it to you. It was like
You
this
texted it
big
to me?
yeah, about it was a former
Gotta
nanny
check.
of,
Okay.
um, Amini,
Sorry, guys, I have
Amani.
a dog here.
I know. I see that doggy.
She was just dying to get up here, so I had
Okay,
to move
that's
the whole
fine.
table so she could get up here.
That's fine. Um, it was about when this person was a nanny for Amani and Matt. They were like,
No.
literally, the children should be taken away from them. They're terrible people. They're terrible parents. Like bad. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was really bad. It was a really bad post. So of
Because
course, what
they
I
only
just
wanna be, like, influencers or
mhm.
what? Like,
Yeah, they're
OnlyFans?
like it. They're
What
like
are they
it's
trying to
hilarious. It's hilarious. They're trying to be influencers, trying to be on TV. They're absolutely the worst people in the world. She's very mean to her husband. He's just along for the ride. He's happy to
I
be
knew
with a
it.
hot girl. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
I knew it. She is the alpha for 1000%,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
and I
just
don't
say,
think he's that into any of this, and he
uh-uh.
gives me very weird vibes, like he might snap one day.
Yes.
He smiles just all the time, and it's
Mhm.
very strange,
Yeah.
um, almost like Lauren of 90, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, 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 yeah. It's like, we just, covered, Friday night's Love After Lockup Crime Story, which was, Amber and then also Cameron. But Amber, her mom was on there, and her mom is just, like, smiling, saying the weirdest things, like, "I know I was a terrible mother.
oh god, yeah, it's
Remember
like,
when we used to smoke meth together? That was
oh
fun. I
my
just thought if
god.
she smokes meth at home with me, then she's not in the streets." The kid's 13. Yeah.
S It's such
Yeah.
a strange coping mechanism that people do when
Yeah.
they're socially awkward. It's
That they
so
just smile.
strange.
Like,
They
one day
mix
I was
their
at a bar and I
beers
looked
to
over
date.
and there was Amber. She's she was 12. It's
At
crazy.
the same bar as me, isn't that funny?
Yeah, she's 12.
Uh-huh.
Wild.
We can't yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that show's over now, and I'm glad, as every week was just more sad stories. More
I
sad
saw one of them, and I was like, like, literally, it was the worst thing I ever heard. Like, she was,
every week. Terrible.
she l her uncle lived with them, or he was like not a step uncle, and then, like,
Mhm.
horrible stuff happened, and
Yeah.
she got
Destiny.
preg
Mhm.
oh my god. I was
Yeah. There were a lot of shows where the girls were abused starting around age 13, 14. That seemed to be the age, and then a
yeah,
lot of the stories, the similarity was, I started stealing or doing this because literal hunger, like, literally, I was
yeah,
hungry and needed money to buy food for myself and my siblings, or, like, my mom was
yeah,
never around, she worked 3 jobs, and my mom did the best she could, but she was never there because she worked 3 jobs, so I would go on the street and sell drugs to get money to feed my siblings, like, really
yeah,
sad, and that was
yeah,
a through line, a through line.
and they keep a lot of that out of just the normal show because I think they want us to just focus on
The
the
crazy.
insanity
Yeah.
and the bad teeth, but
Mhm.
it's really
Mhm.
sad. Yeah.
There's some real bad teeth on White Lotus, get ready.
Oh, really? Oh,
Mhm.
is it this girl? I think I saw something on Instagram, like, people were talking about some girl's teeth.
Yeah, but I mean, she's a well-known actress, and this is just part of her look, but she's a really
Yeah,
good actress.
but people are like, "She should have veneers," and then other people are like, "She should not wanna look like everyone else. She should
Yeah.
celebrate her, uniqueness."
Yeah, yes, and she does look very, very different. It's like you see these models sometimes and you're like, "Whoa, that person's a model," but then you're like, it's because they look so different, you know?
Totally. Yeah.
She looks very different. I personally think, she doesn't need veneers or anything like that. I think just a little, correction on the overbite, uh,
Oh, okay.
maybe because she's like a super big overbite, but no,
Yeah.
she's a good actress and she's a known actress. So, not to me, but she's good.
Okay.
She's
I'm
good. Yeah,
excited.
but I'm just, warning you because if you're not warned, you're like, "Whoa,
Thank you. I'm not
wow."
as bothered, by teeth as you, but I am bothered on behalf of you sometimes now.
Okay,
Like,
well, I want you to watch episode 1 and then you just let me know. Let me
okay.
know how shocked you were with this girl's teeth.
Okay. I'm
It's
ready.
shocking. Even a character in the show comments on the teeth. I mean, you can't not see the teeth. The
Wow.
big, giant, spread apart buck teeth
Okay.
that she
Wow.
never closes her lips around. So, I mean, it's but again, great actress, got cast on this show. Good for her.
Okay.
She'll win an Emmy and I won't. How about that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 5. Love is not enough. Okay? It's not enough. I don't know
It's not
what this
enough,
is.
folks.
I don't know what this is referring to, but let's start with Shekinah and Sarper. Still didn't get enough information about the house cow, but it's an LA thing, and I'm going to need to know anybody that's ever done this because it's real weird.
Well,
Real weird.
they're doing this new thing on Pillow Talk this season. Have you been
Uh-huh.
watching?
No time.
Um, they're having these fake connections to someone on the show so that the people on the show will call the people on Pillow Talk will call the people on the show. So last week, Kenny and Armando were like, "Hey, I wonder if we can find Martini Pat." And so they like pretend to go on Instagram, and then the next commercial break, they are video calling with Martini Pat.
Uh-huh.
And she's telling them like what that she really thinks of Mina and Mark, which was not flattering. And then she goes, "Oh, I probably shouldn't say that." And they're like trying to get her to gossip. And on this episode, Kim and Jamal go, "Hey, I'm going to text Shekinah and get this lady's address or this lady's number with the house cow." And
Okay.
then next commercial break, they're talking to the lady with the house cow, and she's showing them both of her cows. And then she shows them her outdoor area where she has a tennis court and a pool where the cows wander because the cow goes in the pool. And then there's like a tennis house type guest house that is where the goats live. And because she just has all these animals, and I don't know who cleans up the poop and
I
stuff.
say, is this Lisa
Like,
Vanderpump? Like, I don't know what's
it's
happening.
crazy, and we don't know how she gets her money. And then Jamal was like, "Is she single? Because I want to live with her." And then and he offers to sit. He's like, "If you ever need a guest sitter, I can see myself in that pool." And
I
but
don't want to
it's
swim
so
in a pool with a cow.
I know.
I just don't.
Oh, I would like try to ride the cow around.
Yeah, yeah, you would. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy with a cow. I love a cow. And then all the people on the show start eating meat after. All the people on Pillow Talk were like, "I'm starving. Let's get sliders." And that's where my cognitive dissonance does not work, which is why I'm a vegetarian. But anyway, this new thing where they're creating these like, "Hey, I'm going to text so and so and get the
Yeah.
number for so and so."
Yeah.
And then the cow lady was like, "I'm so glad we could finally connect. I'm so glad I finally got to talk to you." And I was like, "That you were just at the commercial break before." She's just like, "Do you watch the show? Are you a fan of Kim and Jamal? Like, why are you acting like you just didn't get the number
That's
from Shekinah?"
right.
And so I'm wondering if they're going to do it every episode,
I hope
and
not.
they'll have like a breakout star. Martini Pat and the cow lady were breakout stars for sure.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I
I
don't
just
like
don't
it.
know. They need this like fake setup of like, I'm going to find them on Instagram and then get their phone number in the next 3 minutes before the
Right. How
next
about just
commercial
watch the
break.
show and comment like you're supposed to do?
Yeah. No,
I don't
they're trying to reach out and talk to the people. Yeah.
see. That's like this year on Last Resort. They have Between the Sheets where the people
Yeah.
on the show are talking about stuff that happened on the show. But they
Hmm.
constantly are doing, let's do games, let's do Fear Factor, let's do, and I'm like, if you don't have enough to fill it, maybe this should just be a 30-minute show. We don't need
Right.
all that other stuff, you know?
Right. Hmm. Well, they used to do that 90 Day with Shawn, and it was on Discovery
Uh-huh. It was
Plus
called
only. It was
After
never on
Dark
TLC. Yeah,
or
and they
something.
did games and stuff like that too.
Mhm. That's where we
And they
found out that Pedro was a virgin when he married Chantel.
What?
Uh-huh, we found that out on that show. We did.
Wow.
Mhm, and now he's
And I
dating
think
Sophie.
what?
Yeah. Yeah, now he's dating Sophie. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What do
Okay,
you
I
think?
can see that, but I don't think he's gonna treat her well.
Maybe he will. He was nice to Chantel in the beginning, so I don't know.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, everything's great in the beginning, guys.
Yeah.
Then real life smacks
Um,
you in the face. Yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
Okay. I
Okay.
mean, she maybe wants she grew up with a lot of chaos in her own life, and now she is with a guy whose family is crazy
Mhm.
and will bring more chaos.
She speaks Spanish though, so that's good.
That's true.
Then again, so did Chantel.
Yeah.
Mm. You will not insult me today, bitch ass, slut ass whore. Good night. Never forget. Okay, Shekinah and Sarper, back to them. We got sidetracked with the house cow. So they're headed to the United States. She says she usually gets stopped like at TSA or global entry because her new face doesn't look like her passport. um, he
That's
says
weird. Don't brag about that.
she thinks it's funny. So he
Get a new
says,
passport photo.
yeah, that's it's not hard. Um, maybe it is. He says going to the United States is like going to an away match where all the rules are set by Shekinah. And he says when his routine is messed up, he's messed up. We get it. You have OCD. My God, we've gotten it. You've pounded it
Mhm.
into us. We're not even sure that's true. So 13 hours later, they're in Los Angeles and they do not seem to be in first class. As a matter of fact, they're not because I looked it up. They're in economy on Turkish Airways.
Economy.
I looked up what those seats were. I looked up Turkish Airways. That's what the seats are. They were in 3 across. Shekinah was in the middle. He was on the window. So God forbid whoever was in the aisle.
They
Mm,
really do try to exude like luxury and richness, and it's a sham, I think.
yeah. I mean, I understand if she goes so much that she's like not going to pay for it every time, but if they're coming to America, it seems like this is a special occasion. We'll spring for it.
Totally. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're filming yourself
Yeah. Yeah.
and you have an image to maintain?
Mhm. So, they have so much luggage. So they that first class ticket also would have helped them get some of that luggage through for a lesser price. He says, the flight was torture. I realized she came to Turkey 17 times. No, 7 times. So that makes it 14 flights. I would never do that for her." She's like, "Thanks, babe." And they make out in the airport. I'm talking like full tongue down with like a circular camera going around them.
Because I didn't realize that Turkey was that conservative that you don't really make out in public or kiss in public.
I mean, I think it is a Muslim country, so I think that just respectfully, you don't
Yeah. But, like,
have PDA in
whenever
public.
we've seen couples that meet there, that's they act normally, I feel like, and they
Well,
don't cover themselves or anything like that, you know?
I would have to go back and really think about if we've seen people, like, making out in public or
Yeah,
holding hands or anything too much in public.
right.
Yeah. Um, so he's like, "Oh, never done this before, a public kiss virgin." She's like, "We found one thing you haven't done. That's great, babe." So, in the talking head, she goes, "No, I don't think 90 days is enough time. It's enough time for him to decide if he wants to live here, but I worry it's not enough time for him to like meet all my friends, meet my family, get married, hang around my daughter. And my apartment is small. It's smaller than his, and I work out of my apartment. And he's so used to being in control. I feel like this is going to be rough." In the car, as they're going to pick up the dogs, he's asking, "Do people in the States do like we do? Like they kiss? Because we every time we see his parents, like so much kissing all over the kissing,
Mouth kissing. Yeah,
kissing,
just
kissing, kissing."
fair yeah.
And she's like, "No, you do not kiss people when you meet them. No." So they go to pick up her dogs, Adonis and Teddy, at
But
her
she
friend.
even said, "Don't hug." She's like and he goes, "Hug? Even your close friends?" And she's like, "No, shake their hand." And it's like, she just doesn't want him
No,
hugging women. That's
right.
what that is.
Because sometimes you do hug your friends when you see them.
I think it would be totally normal for him to hug her close friends when he's meeting
Hmm.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, they go to pick up the dogs at her friend Renee's house. So Renee is in this big mansion. So they have to go into a gate or whatever. He goes, "Oh, I can't believe this mansion. I dance at some mansions like this in Turkey." And she goes, "Okay, quit talking about that." He goes, "Oh, this mansion, walking into this mansion make me feel like a celebrity." Oh, her name is Janae, not Renee. Sorry. So we see Janae's house. Okay. Now we go into this, what I don't know if it's a mansion or not, but it does have a gate and it does look big. But
Yeah.
literally, it is covered in like fake ivy and home signs and word art everywhere.
Yeah, that was a big sign that said "Home Sweet Home" by the door. I was like,
Yeah.
"Jessica?
I mean,
Jes
yeah, it
Did
was it
Jessica
was
get a step up?"
shocking. Yeah, it was shocking that this house seemed to be so opulent and then had so much word art. So,
Maybe they
um,
just no, they didn't just move in. They got it staged for the cameras, and they hired a really bad interior
a
decorator who
three-stager who
right,
just pulled shit out of their own house.
right.
Um, So now they're like, oh, okay, here are the dogs, whatever, and here's Adonis, and he's all excited about Adonis. Oh, you should meet Ribeye. You should meet Ribeye. So Ribeye is a little cow. She has two cows named Ribeye and Brisket. What
That
the
is
fuck?
offensive
That
and
why would you give
gross.
that's gross. Why would you name them that?
I'm glad you think that's gross because I was thinking I'm probably being oversensitive, but
No.
that's nasty to me. That's gross. I don't like driving by like chicken places and there's like a happy chicken who's like on the
Right.
a
Mm.
cartoon chicken who's like eat me. Like I hate that. That's so gross to me. And
Yeah,
then these are
yeah.
your pets and then they I don't know, it's really
These are
weird.
your pets. They should have pet names like Violet and Ginger or, you
Sure.
know, Peaches and Snuggles. I don't know, but
Yeah.
not they're
Yeah.
not Brisket and
Emily
Ribeye.
also was offended on Pillow Talk. She's like, "Name it like Tucker or something." I think
Yeah,
she said
cute.
Tucker. Yeah.
I agree. So Sarper's like, wow, everything is possible in America. House cow. Wow.
Okay. To be fair, neither of us knew that that was possible, and we live here. So,
She's saying it's an LA thing. The people in LA have this.
I had no idea. That was not my circle. I live in
No,
an apartment in LA.
no.
Um, I mean, I've seen chickens. Chickens have
Yeah,
been
sure.
very popular for the
Yeah.
past however many years, but I've not seen cat. I've seen giant turtles and I think goats, but
House
seen a
cow.
cow. Never seen a house cow.
And are these like mini cows or is these cows going to grow to full size?
She said they're mini cows. Yeah. On
Okay.
Pillow Talk, she said they're
Good.
mini cows. Yeah. And
Okay.
the goats were mini goats, pygmy
Okay.
goats or whatever, like the
Hmm.
kind that are little.
And she just lets them run around the tennis court.
Yeah. And jump in the pool. Yeah.
Is there any hay or is there any soft footing for the goats and
Uh
cows?
Yes, there were, like, areas with that, like, that was like a mini barn made out of a shed from Home Depot or, like, a guest
Mhm,
house,
mhm,
whatever, but then the
mhm.
tennis court seemed to be just normal
Mm.
tennis court.
Watch the poop when you're getting that backhand, I
Totally.
guess. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
I wonder what
okay.
her neighbors think. Like, is
Oh
there a
god.
smell? I just wonder, is she shoveling the poop, or does she
Well,
have
yeah,
someone come and do that, you know?
right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot to owning a house cow, I assume. So,
Mhm.
they're driving it's nighttime, but he's looking and he's like, "Oh, it seems fine, you know, I like your neighborhood." We go into her apartment, so it seems like it's like an apartment, but it
This
seems
was in NoHo, which is, like, upcoming.
Uh-huh.
It's I used to live in NoHo when it was trash, like,
Okay.
gross, and, like, very rundown and, like, not safe, and
Yeah.
they have made it into, like, an arts district, and they've tried to, like, renovate it. It's still kinda dirty, though,
Well,
and parking
it's
sucks.
it seems like it's a, maybe the bedroom and stuff is upstairs. I
Yeah,
cannot imagine that her apartment is this one little couch, this kitchen with all her equipment, and then, like, a bedroom in the back, and that's it. Because there were stairs
there were stairs, yeah.
inside the apartment. So,
Yeah, it's a two-floor thing.
yeah, and so she has everything set up in her kitchen, which I understand because she needs access to a sink for her job. Um, but it's bizarre. And she says, "When my clients come, he's gonna have to leave." And then she tells him they don't really use the kitchen because 'cause it'd make the workspace smell. And he goes, "But we could just come down and make breakfast." She goes, "No, babe." And he's like, "So, but you don't cook anything?" She goes, "Yeah, no. And also when I have clients, you're gonna have to leave." And the talking head, he's like, "I didn't know anything about this. Like, what? Like, I just
Okay,
can't stay in the bedroom?" Like,
how big is her takeout bill and her food delivery bill? But then
mhm.
even if you eat takeout, it still
It
smells.
still smells, and you have to heat it in the microwave sometimes.
But she just eats that butter, like those butter sticks, so that doesn't smell, I guess, and
Maybe
maybe,
she
like,
just only
jerky,
eats raw
like
vegan food that has to be in the fridge, and that's
no, I
it.
think they eat a lot of meat, like, it's all, like, high fat, high
Paleo or yeah.
yeah, um,
Hmm.
that's really weird, also, when you walk in and you just see one of those tables, it reminded me of, like, a torture chamber on SVU or something, like, you walk in and someone has, like, a torture chamber, it's
Yeah.
like a dentist's
Yeah.
office in someone's living room.
Yeah.
Also, I understand that she says, like, "My clients are female, and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable
Right.
There has to be a solution where he can stay upstairs, like put a
You're right.
partition up or something, or
Yeah.
make him wear headphones. I don't know. Like he shouldn't have to leave. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Like
and so but if she has literally, like, 8 hours a day of clients in there,
I
at
don't
some
think she
point, he
does,
might
but
wanna
like
leave. I mean, yeah.
oh yeah, then he won't be able to walk past the clients. It'll be
Yeah.
like I have there's 5 minutes between my next client. Like you can leave now. Like
There has to be a way
where
to
is he gonna
partition it
go?
off. Yeah.
He's not able to work or do anything or drive. He's gonna have to, like, walk to Starbucks and sit there for hours every day?
Um, I'm gonna the next time it's time your turn to talk, I'm gonna look up her esthetician business and figure out what's doing.
Yeah. Like, how many clients does she have? I'm so surprised because, we had been told she has this big business,
Yeah.
and it did look like official, but it's in
Oh,
her
yeah.
living room, so it didn't look that official. But,
Right.
like, she had a lot of products there and a lot of, like, those light things, laser things, like, a
Yeah.
lot of the equipment. How many
Yeah.
clients does she have, like, regularly? And she has no one else working for her? It's only her in her house?
She had a whole display case of, like, potions and serums and things she was selling, like a being at a spa, except for it's in your kitchen. It's crazy.
Wow, I'm just blown away by this whole thing and that we never knew this.
I am too. This is why this show just always keeps us on our toes,
Yeah,
always
and she
keeps us
keeps
on our
trying to
toes.
make it sound like it's so normal. She's like, "It's a work live space."
Well, then you
Like,
would have,
that's
like,
normal
an
if
office space, you know?
yeah, that's normal if you, like, work on your computer. Like
Yeah,
like, I have an office work live space, but not when
yeah.
you're, like, lasering off people's lips. I know that's not what they do.
Uh, okay, move on. Let's move on to Jessica and Juan,
And
um,
Megan.
and Megan and
They are the
Megan.
new throuple.
Yeah.
At least Megan thinks so.
Yeah, she
So
does, she does.
they're at this bar and Juan admits that he made a mistake with the girl on the cruise because he was lonely and he's just human, guys. And then this other friend chimes in, "How many times are you gonna be human?" And I was like, "Shut up, not Megan. Like, this is not your place."
Yeah,
And then he says, "Well, like, I'm here now, so it's different." And so and then the non-Megan is like, "Oh, so you're only gonna be faithful when you're being babysat and when you're, like, living with her?"
non-Megan. Yeah.
And Megan is just silently stewing because she hasn't said a word. And then she's, like, silently crying. And she flips out and she goes, "It's taken a year for you to admit this to me when I asked you about this in Colombia a year ago." Like, fully like a woman scorned.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Juan,
yeah,
like,
makes
it's
no sense.
crazy. And then Juan just goes, "My bad. My bad, bro. Sorry."
But I
Like,
think he's sorta like, "I've worked it out with
he's
Jessica, why do you
yeah.
care?" Like,
Why do you care?
yes, I'm
He's
explaining it to
not
you, but
he's not gonna give in to this histrionics of this woman that is not in their relationship,
mm-mm.
and so he's just like, "My bad." She's just crying, and Juan is telling us, like, "She's not my fiance, right? Just checking. I'm not engaged to her, right?" And she's, like, asking about everything. Does she wanna go through my phone? Like, what's with this girl? Like, I think she's gonna spy on them or, like, hide in the bushes. I'm j Megan is over the top here,
She's
and
waiting for him to mess up. Maybe she's in love with Jessica.
I got vibes like that.
Mhm, could
And
be.
Jessica is just sitting there doing this smirk, like she's kind of enjoying this,
Yeah,
and, like, I get kind of enjoying watching him squirm, even though he's not squirming at all. He's just like, "Yeah, I did it." Like,
feel
but
like she's enjoying Juan slamming down Megan.
I think she's enjoying ones. I think there's a lot of she's mad at Megan. Like, she does not she's enjoying watching Megan cry and Juan, like, not giving it to her. I
Yeah,
swear she's, like, enjoying something about this, which is very weird dynamics,
mhm.
and so finally she just goes, "Okay, so I should say, I knew about this, and I knew about this for a year and a half, and we decided to work through this together." And Megan goes, "You're my best friend, Jess. I love you more than anything in life." Literally.
Wow, wow.
And Jessica is like acting like Megan's crazy drunk and she's like pacifying her and she goes, I know, I love you more than anything. And that's why I protected you. Like talking to her like she's a baby.
Yeah.
And Jessica tells us, Juan admitted it to me. He cried and he begged me to forgive him. And I did because we were long distance and we were struggling at that time. So Jessica says, Megan, I wasn't at my best either at that time. And Megan goes, but you never crossed that line like he did. And then like Jessica pauses. We're
Mm-hmm.
like, did she? And then Jessica says to us, we were both struggling in the relationship at that time. And I caught feelings for my ex, but I never acted on it. But it was a very weird time in our relationship.
And
And
Juan's like, excuse me?
well, that hasn't happened yet. Jessica goes, Megan, Juan and I talked about this, and he knows we were both struggling with the distance of the relationship. And he even asked me about that guy. She says that guy because
Uh-huh.
I think she's trying to say to Megan, like, don't tell her it was the ex. It's the
Mm-hmm.
guy. It's that
Mm-hmm.
guy, that
That
random
guy.
guy, that
Mm-hmm.
guy from Starbucks that I've never talked to since.
Mm-hmm.
And Megan says, but he was your ex-boyfriend. Which is like, I think she's saying it's not as bad. It's worse to sleep with a random girl on a cruise than to have feelings for your ex because you've already been there and that's natural to like develop feelings for your ex, I think she's saying. But
I think that's what she's saying, but I don't know which one's worse, actually.
I know,
Yeah.
exactly. So Juan goes, what? His head is like, what? And Megan smiles because now she has ruined a secret.
Mm-hmm.
It's like real weird toxic stuff going on. They're like all
Very.
playing mind games. And
It's a small town,
so
Kimberly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
Nothing else to do. There's
Yeah.
not even there's that one movie theater that plays The Grinch. So what are you gonna do? So Jessica says, I told you, Juan, like I told you that it was the ex, and you knew I was talking to a guy. Remember, you knew. And Juan says, I didn't know it was your ex. And that changes everything. And now
Mm-hmm.
he's mad.
Mm-hmm.
So on the ride home, he says, it's not fair. You guys always make me out to be the bad guy. And she's like, you were the bad guy. You cheated. And I didn't cheat. And he says, you cheated emotionally. And then he's like pouting and making himself the victim. And he says, maybe I'll go back to Colombia and talk to my ex and I won't tell you about it. And she says, I was faithful and you were acting very distant but I didn't act on anything. And he's like, when did the guy come over? And she says, at night. And he says, were the kids around? And she says, no. And he says, oh, so I can invite my ex over at night when I'm alone just to watch TV and that's fine with you? And like, I can't tell if he's really upset or if he's just acting upset so he's not the bad guy anymore. And now he has something to hold over her.
Totally.
And Jessica says, he's kind of being a hypocrite because I forgave him very easily. And he is now acting like this is a huge deal. He's trying to level the playing field to make it seem equal, but it's not equal. And she's a therapist. So you can't play. She's the therapist, right? So you
She's a
can't play
therapist. Yeah.
these. Yeah, you can't play these games with her because she can see right through it. So he says, you can't imagine how I feel being here in this country alone and then finding out that you've been keeping secrets from me. And she says, I want you to know that I love you. And he says, well, thanks for loving me, but it still feels the same. Like he's totally pouting. Also, Joan pulled that with what's his face last week when he was like, I love you, Joan. And she's like, well, thanks for that. But why did you turn down the
Yeah.
government job?
Right. That's great, but that's not what we're talking about here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really enjoying it. I really want to see more of Megan because she's absolutely a train wreck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. She's very involved in their relationship.
yeah,
Here's what I found out. Shekinah Garner, she has 97.9 thousand followers on Instagram, but
that doesn't
her
seem like that many for being on 90 Day, like 3 seasons.
98,000 people is a lot of people.
Well, it's way more than we have, but it's not that for someone who's been on 3 seasons. I feel like it
Well,
should be in the 6 figures.
Her Aesthetics by Shekinah, um, which is her business one, it has
Mhm.
124,000 people. That's her
Okay.
business one, and it's like click here to book.
Okay.
So let's just compare. Okay, let's do Kimberly. Oh, Kimberly has 304,000 people.
That's what I'm saying.
It does seem low now that I didn't realize that. Let's see how many Vanya has. Let's see. Tata has 12,000.
That's
Um,
so sad. Oh.
Tata, let's see. Maddie only has 904, but he's just getting started. Ooh, Sarper has 105, so he's got more than her.
But not by a lot. How many
No,
does, like, Jamal have?
let's see, look at okay, Lauren and Alexi has 1.4 million.
That's what yeah, and, David and Annie, I know have way more.
Oh, totally. Let's see. Jessica and Juan has 23,000.
Mm.
Vanya has 68,000.
And Vanya was only on 1 season.
That's right.
Shekinah, this is her 3rd season.
Let's see, Armando has 456,000.
Okay, mhm. Pillow Talk
Uh-huh.
gets you a lot.
Uh, Jovi has 447,000. Emily has
Wow.
300,000. Let's
Jovi
see.
has 4 over 400,000, wow.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at anybody else here that we would know. Okay, Juan David has 14,000.
Yeah,
And
they're new
and
on
of
the show.
and of
Well, they
course,
were in
Darcy and Stacy, a lot. That's interesting. Okay, because in my mind, I was like, "Oh, that's a lot." And you're like, "No, it's not." Okay, let me put that on pause and quit looking at that. Okay, let's go on to Stevie and Maddie. Speaking of them, okay,
yeah.
I have an interview set up with Stevie.
Oh, yay.
It's coming up. I believe it's going to be. Let's look at the old calendar. I believe it's the first week of April that we have it. I wanted to make sure we had a little more, information going on.
Yeah.
More. What's the word I'm looking for? More what's the word I'm looking for? More content that I want to be sure to ask her
Mhm.
about. I believe
Yeah.
it's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's next week. I should probably figure that out. Yeah, it's not on my calendar. But anyway, I've got it. I'm excited about that. She does work until 6 p.m. They said. So I don't know if she has a regular job now or if that means that's her online teaching job.
Right.
I'll find out. Okay.
Yeah.
Stevie and Maddie. So it's okay. My phone is now listening to me and like writing down what I'm saying. Okay, stop. Okay, Stevie and Maddie, 88 Days to Wed. They are headed to see her family. They're in Hattiesburg. And the talking head, she's like, I hope this goes well, even though I did wait till the last minute to tell my dad,
Yeah.
sorry. He's like, yeah. So they arrive, and the production is trying very hard to make this look ominous. They're like, "Ooh, it's dark, and there's a fire, and who are these people?" Um,
Yeah. Like,
it's
it's
just a
a
fire
full-on
pit. Yeah.
clan meeting that he's
Yes.
walking up to.
It's like they just have a fire pit for s'mores or whatever. So her dad, Perry, is got the fire pit going, and Stevie walks up and goes, "Hey, he's nervous." And they all like, "Oh, he should be." And she's like, "Stop, y'all are gonna make it worse. Stop." So the talking head, he says, yeah, we drive up and her family members are in a huddle around the fire with murder weapons like saws and axes. And he says, I've seen it in movies. So they meet Maddie. We meet her brother Andrew, and we meet Wendy, which is Perry's girlfriend. And they all sit around to chat. There's a black cat, and she's like, "Oh, don't mind the cat." And of course, he's like, street cats, And Maddie's like, "Is that your cat?" And they go, "Yeah, that's our cat." And the talking head, she goes, "I think that the black cat is interesting because it's bad luck if it crosses your path." And he says, "Oh, they have a similar thing. Like if your team loses, it's like something about a black cat or
Yeah.
something similar. Has to do with soccer, I think." Now back to the fire. Anthony is like, "How do you like it here?" And he says, "Oh, everything is different. The cars are different. The people are different. Everything, where I live, it's very isolated, the country." And dad says, there's a lot of tension between the countries, right? And Maddie says, yeah, on TV, we just see a lot of chanting like death to America and stuff like that on the news. And Dad goes, "You ever do any of that chanting?" And they all kinda laugh. He says, "No," and they all kinda laugh. So they talk about, the different ways that women are treated in his country from the way that they dress. He says, "Oh, yeah, like, if you wanna travel, you have to get permission from your husband, like property." And
Mhm.
Dad says, "Well, that's my big concern is that the way, women are treated in your country and the way you were raised. That's my concern." And the talking head, Maddie goes, "When he brings this up, I'm thinking, here we go. And it's bad that the interview is starting
Mhm.
this way, the interview."
Yeah.
Um, so they talk, and Maddie says, "I grew up in a family that respected all the laws of the culture. But as I got older, I realized it didn't make any sense because women are not property." And Dad says, "Well, that's good. That's good. So, anybody hungry? Yeah, let's go eat." Um, So she's like, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Yeah." He says he's very nervous, but he's hoping, he feels like Perry likes him. That's what he's hoping. And that they're walking in the house, and the cat runs in. He's like, "Oh," and he's like, "That's oh well, that cat's is crazy. She's gonna come in the house." And he's like, "Oh God, the cat's gonna be too much."
How is that cat alive, like, going outside in the dark? Like, aren't there, like, coyotes and, like, things
No.
out there? I know some people do let their cats or have outdoor cats at night,
Yeah.
but it
Yes.
makes me nervous.
There's outdoor cats in this neighborhood. We call them sewer cats because the minute you come upon one, if you're walking for exercise, you have to
They
they
run in the sewer.
sewers, yeah, we're like,
Oh
sewer cat,
god.
what are they feeding you?" Um, and then I have a note here that he says, "This is like, America, America." I think that's what he's trying to say, like, "This is
Yeah.
like America, America, like really
I
really
think, like,
American."
the house specifically, like, from the outside and, like, the screen door kind of
Yeah,
thing, it just felt very, like,
and the
American.
red checker tablecloth and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So they're showing them all the food. It's a big spread. So it's got turkey, they've got some sort of pork something, they've got mac and cheese, they've got pies, they've got all sorts of a spread of food.
It was a lot
And
of food for
there's
that few people.
I wonder if they're just feeding production as well, you know?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it's just Southern. You just have a lot of food.
You have a lot of leftovers, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's going home with Tupperware, whether you want it or not.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so Maddie says, "No, I'm not allowed to eat pork, because of my family." And they all seem to respect that. They talk about Southern cooking, and, she's like, "Yeah, it's lots of fried food, lots of grease," and, she's like, "Your six pack's gonna go away." He goes, "Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm finding that out." What I say to that, Maddie, is that's your own journey.
Yeah.
Don't be bullied into eating something you don't want to.
No.
Um,
And
alright,
don't
so
you don't need to embrace eating unhealthy just
no,
because.
eat what you want. Yeah,
And
Harrisburg's a big
eat
city.
in moderation. Unhealthy is whatever. It's just a name. It's just a word. There's
Right.
no moral judgment on food. You can eat just
Maddie, it's up to you
whatever.
to maintain your six pack, okay?
Yeah, if you want
Don't
to, if that's
don't blame it
important
on
to you.
her. Don't blame it
Yeah.
on America. So,
Well, it
well so Anthony, the brother says, "So you teach English?" And he says, "Right." And, he says, "Well, I think, you speak perfect English." And he says, "Yeah." He's like, "Stevie told me it was gonna be hard for me to understand all of you because your accent." He's like, I can understand you just fine." They all laugh about that. Um,
well, it was specifically about the dad, like and then the dad is like, "Why were you talking smack about me?"
he's like, what you mean? What do you mean you got an accent? Well,
"I
how
don't
that
got no accent."
what do you mean?" So the dad says, "Stevie kept a secret that she was seeing
Yeah.
you, and I just found out about you. And now, why do you guys get married 90 days? Like, I know y'all spent just a little time together, and so why does it have to be so fast?" So they explain how the 90-day visa works. Since he literally just found out yesterday, he hadn't had time to ask a lot of questions. And Dad says, "Well, how do we know you just don't want to come to America to get married? People do that."
Mm.
And, Maddie says, "I absolutely understand your concern, and the only way I can prove I'm not that person, the only way the only way who can prove I'm not that kind of person is Stevie." So I don't really quite understand what that means, but I think he means it's gonna be up to Stevie to understand that I'm that kind of person. Like, I don't really care what you think, you know?
And, like, if she can tell you how I'm treating her and things like that,
Yeah.
like, she'll tell you we are really in love, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he handled it really well. He was like, "I totally get it. I understand why you're asking that question. I would be suspicious too, and we're gonna prove to you that that's not the case."
He's very calm.
So
He's a
calm.
very calm
So
person.
calm. Yeah.
And Anthony goes, "So, y'all love each other?" And Maddie says, "I've never had a love in my life like this. I've never been in love. I've never loved anyone like Stevie, and I can guarantee that we'll live together and love each other forever." And then he just looks over and they're all like, "Well, okay."
Good answer.
Good answer. Outside, talking head Perry and the girlfriend, Wendy, say, Dad's like, "I'm not sure I'll give my blessing tonight, but as we're going on, I think Maddie's going to have a big adjustment to living here, and his life was shockingly different than ours is here, and they're going to have a lot of pressure on them as a couple." But I think all in all, Dad is handling it very well. He got this
Yeah.
information
He
yesterday.
said he seems very genuine and,
Yeah,
seems like a nice guy.
you have to assume he thinks his daughter's got sense in her head to
Yeah.
make a right decision, but maybe not. I think that she's been married twice, and maybe he's like, "What are you doing?"
Mhm.
You know? This
Also, where are the children?
I don't know where and I felt like she said she did that online teaching job because she was a stay-at-home mom?
I want I know she said that in the first episode. We're never gonna hear about these children again?
Well, I'm gonna ask her when I talk to her, but I may have to go back and watch the first episode where we saw them just to remember what she said.
Yeah, or to go check your notes because
No, the notes are gone. I don't keep my notes.
oh, you do.
No, I
I
erase them and
keep
start over.
everything.
Yeah, I know you do. I don't keep anything. No, mm-mm. Just like, it's gone. Phew, out of my mind,
Because people
off
are
my computer.
constantly like, "What dateline was it when this happened?"
I
And I'm
know.
like, I can search in my notes.
Yeah, I know. You're very
Height,
good about that.
antifreeze, and then I can find what the episode was.
Antifreeze and 400 episodes pop up. And it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
God, people are never gonna learn.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so they go out to have s'mores, and, they're trying to make the s'mores, and he's lighting the marshmallows on fire, and she's like, "You gotta put it together and have the chocolate's gotta melt." And Dad says, "Well, he likes sweets. He's gonna get fat here." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I know." They're real interested in his weight management.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interested. Stevie goes in and chats with Wendy and thanks her. It's like, "Thank you guys so much for having me over and all this food and everything. And thank you for being so welcoming. It's really helpful because Maddie is homesick." And she tells Wendy about what Maddie said, like, "If I ever went back, and then I couldn't come back here, would you be okay with it?" kind of a thing. And, too much is being made out of this. He was very jet lagged, and I don't think he meant that.
I know.
Um,
Although next week it looks like the
I
topic
think
is coming up again.
I think she's gonna keep bringing it up because they're very happy and they have nothing else to cause any drama,
I agree.
you know?
Yeah.
In her talking head, she says, "All I can do is show him the life that we can have here, and I hope he can settle in, like, I hope we get married, I hope everything's fine." And that's what we hope as well.
Mhm.
Okay, that's that. That's the end of them.
Yeah. I like him. I really do.
I do too. I do too. Please don't break our heart.
I know.
Let's move on to Mark and Mina, who are not in Bald Head Island, but they are, in fact, in Southport.
Lies. So they
Lies.
fly in his private little plane
Mhm.
to North Carolina to spend time with his family.
They fly
And
into Cape Fear. Bald Head does not have a private airport, neither does Southport. So they have to fly into Cape Fear and then take a car.
and then they take a car. So they get out of the plane and then they get in the car that's next to the plane.
Mhm.
And little Maria is sitting in her car seat in the plane, just like watching a little iPad. And then Mina's like, "Did you get the baby?" And he's like, "I thought you got the baby." And I was like, "Were you guys going to drive away and leave Maria in a plane?" And then they're like, whoever parks the plane is
Yeah.
gonna be like, "There's a baby in here." Is the baby gonna fly the plane and be like, "I need to go back to Paris. I can't handle it. It's too boring
I
in
don't
New
want gas
Hampshire.
station pasta.
I
Yeah.
don't want it. Let's go back."
People
And
were upset about the car seat, by the way.
That
because the car
she's
seat.
face uh-huh.
Okay, the car seat, what it is, it's the clip-on thing that goes on top of the stroller. So you unclip it from the stroller, and it in the States, that happens a lot, and you can clip it in. It's
Yeah.
called snap and go, and then the car seat. But the car seat is like its own thing.
Mhm.
Um, it's not part of a stroller. But lots of people wrote and said, yes, that is a European car seat because they had that bar directly in front of her. And when you put a baby in a car seat in the car, you flip the bar back because guess what? If there's an accident and that bar is there, the baby's going to hit the bar.
Oh. Mhm.
So people were upset about the European car seat, and people were also upset because she just had on the console between the two of them, she had an iPad facing backwards for the baby to watch. And people
Mhm.
say also that is a terrible hazard because if there is a car accident, then the
It could fly.
fly into the baby. So people are
Yeah.
very upset about their parenting not have anything to do with it. They left the baby in an airplane. There was more to it. Yeah.
That is the more concerning part to me, but
Mhm. I don't
I'm
know,
not a
which
parent.
however long she's here, they'll have to get her an American style car seat to
Yeah.
comply with laws, but, I mean, she's using what she used in Europe, and, in her mind, it's fine, you know?
Yeah, yeah. God, it's hard being a parent and putting your child online, which is maybe why you shouldn't do it. Um,
Mm,
but
it
also
is.
because a child can't really consent to being on camera. But,
Mhm.
yeah, that people will just criticize anything that you do, really.
Hey, guys, guess
Um,
what that leads me into? Kimberly and I are covering the Baldwins. There's
yeah.
7 kids there, so go on to Pink Shade Prime and subscribe and listen to that. That'll be out, if you're listening on Tuesday, it's out on Tuesday.
Uh-huh, and it
Mhm.
gives you 7 opportunities to criticize
That's
parenting.
right. 8
Yeah.
if you count Ireland, who we're gonna get next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if someone is doing something dangerous, like with the yes, criticize. I think it's fine. If
Yeah.
someone's doing something dangerous, go for it.
Yeah, agree.
Um,
I don't think Mina's doing that on purpose. I think this is her European car seat, and this is not what we do in the States, and so she'll need to adjust accordingly.
yeah.
Yes.
So, she's not looking forward to meeting Jordan, and
Mm.
he says, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told you what Jordan said, and also I shouldn't have told Jordan what you said about her." And she's like, "What?
Drunk in the
You
hot tub. Yep.
Why did you tell her when I was wine wasted in the jacuzzi what I said about her?" And she's like, "That was a private conversation. He needs to shut up sometimes." And he's like,
Mhm.
"Did I do that?" He's just knows that he keeps messing up. So
Uh,
they go to this cute little hotel that's, I guess, by the water, and she's unimpressed with everything, and she's in a
mhm,
bad mood, and he's
mm.
trying to make her happy. Um, but she goes, "I'm gonna wear an extra sexy dress to piss off Jordan." Like,
Okay.
I mean, I kinda thought that was like, if you think I'm a young hoochie gold digger, then I'm gonna dress like one,
Mm,
kind of,
mhm.
which is I think that's kind of funny, but she
It's like Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind when he pulls out that red dress and goes, "If you're gonna, be a floozy, you may as well dress the part. You should wear this." And she does. She looks incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So he says, "Please just don't be 3 hours late like you were to the baptism because in Paris, because that's what she's really mad about." And but she gets ready very fast, 20 minutes. And she
Uh-huh.
doesn't look over the top crazy sexy or anything. Like
Mm-mm.
she looked fairly normal.
But
And
she's one of those people that's like my husband. It's like, "Oh, wait, one more thing. Oh, wait, one more thing."
yeah,
Like, you're in the car ready to go, and he's like, he's gotta get his water bottle, but then he's gotta put his Mio in it, and it's like,
yeah,
"Well, that's an extra. Oh, wait, I forgot. I wanted those shoes. They're upstairs. And, oh, wait. Oh, I forgot the wrong car." And you're like, "Oh my god. We're in the
that
car. We're
drives me
sweating. We're ready
crazy.
to go." Yeah. That's
I
what she's
hate that.
doing. She's
That's
adding
my
stuff on at the
parents.
yes, she's adding stuff on at the end. Yes.
Yeah. But one of the things is like heating up the baby's bottle in the microwave.
Mhm.
And then he's like, "It's hot outside. Do you really have to warm it up?"
Also, we now know not to do that either. Oh, that's gonna be another parenting thing she's gonna get in trouble for because you don't do that
You're
now.
not supposed to put it in the microwave because
No.
the plastic
Yeah.
leaches. I
So guess
guess,
what?
right.
My kids are screwed.
I
Yes,
know.
'cause that's what I did, but now we know
So am
not to do
I,
that.
because
Yeah,
I've been heating things up in Tupperware for my whole life.
me
So,
too. Now I'm all
yeah.
glass. I'm all glass now.
Yeah.
All glass.
So I just feel like it's too late. Like,
Oh, it is.
is
It
it too
totally
late?
totally is.
And I really like Tupperware. So,
I do
mm,
too. But now I have all
uh
glass Tupperware.
Is it good? I don't feel like it's good to like. I don't want to hold it like after because I like to eat right out of the Tupperware.
Well, you can. You just stick the glass, you take the lid off of it. The lid's
Yeah,
plastic. Take the
yeah.
lid off, stick it in there, do your whatever. It's a glass bowl, and there you go.
Isn't the glass hot
Not
when
really.
you're
Get a paper
okay?
towel. You're fine. Yeah.
Okay. But then a paper towel is like bad for the environment. I don't like
Well,
to use too many paper towels.
never given that up. Never given up a paper towel.
You could use bamboo ones. We had a sponsor called Real, and I order their toilet paper. I have the bamboo toilet paper, a subscription. That's
Okay. And what's
it,
that? That's better for the
they
environment?
yeah, because bamboo is like endlessly. You can just chop it; it grows right again. It's easy to harvest. It takes less water. It's like way better, yeah,
Oh god,
than trees.
it's just another thing. All right.
I know, but it's a subscription. Um,
Okay, I'll look into it.
Okay. So again, not sponsored.
Nope.
So we're just giving out our tips. So so they go down there and of course Jordan and her boyfriend Gabe are waiting and Jordan is like of course she's late because Jordan is in a bad mood already.
Mhm.
And so Jordan and Mina do an ice cold hug. Like very like they still have to do the French,
Mm.
but it's ice cold and like shiver. And Jordan is looking at Maria like, wow, she's so cute. She's so big compared to when I met her. And then she goes, I still can't believe you have a baby. I wasn't expecting to have another sibling. And then it gets really awkward.
She doesn't
She,
even be like, "Oh my god, it's my sister. It's so good to see you, Maria. I'm
no,
Jordan." None of that.
no.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So and then he says, I know it's a little awkward and there's some tension. And Jordan says, yeah, I feel really awkward right now. And he says, well, it doesn't have to be that way. And it's never been that way between us. We've always been close. And Jordan says, yeah, we used to be, but now there's these newcomers. And she's talking about Mina right in front of her, like she's
Yeah,
not even there.
it's
So
rude.
rude.
Very rude.
And then Jordan says, I feel like that's our old family and you have this new family. I get it, Jordan. Like, it's a weird situation, but you've gotta get over it. It's done. They have a baby. Like
I know. She needs to just live her life with this hot boyfriend she's got
yeah,
and and just see the dad at the holidays or whatever. He's made his decision. He's a grown man, you know?
yeah. And so I kind of yeah, I'm turning on Jordan.
Me too. I
And
don't like how she's
so
speaking to Mina.
no, and so Mark says, "Well, I know I do have another daughter now." And Jordan says, "Yeah, but you don't have to forget about your other kids." And I was like, "When did he do that? Like,
Yeah.
did he forget your birthday? Or like, you don't even live with him. You're an adult. Has he not called you like on
Right.
Sundays like he usually does? Like,
Right.
how has he forgotten about you?"
Right.
Um, that footage not found. I don't know if that ever happened. And that she's acting like he's Cody Brown and he's run off with Robin and like
Mm.
their kids, and the
Mhm.
other kids are chop liver and are
Mhm.
second class citizens in the family. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's happened. Like he still has your bedroom completely set up with your photos on the wall and your
That's
brothers
right. Right. He
at
couldn't be
his
bothered.
house.
He couldn't be
Yeah.
bothered to take on those, like, wooden letters that say Jordan on
No,
the wall.
no,
Yeah.
it still
Mhm.
says Jordan on the
Yeah.
wall. So Mina finally speaks and she says, I hope you don't think this is my fault, which
You're right.
is, but it's, I mean, at least she's like, by saying that, it's very defensive and blaming the dad, but at least she's saying, like, I don't want you to think it's my fault. Like, I care what you think. And I didn't, it's not my, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I
it's
mean, it's
not
like,
the
it's
worst
between you and
thing.
dad, like, you
Yeah,
know?
it's not
Yeah.
the worst thing she could have said. And Jordan says, kind of. I mean, my dad wouldn't have had a baby if he was with someone his own age.
That's dad's fault.
That's
It's not
dad's
Mina's
fault.
fault. It's not
That's
Mina's
not
fault.
Mina's fault. And Mina tells us, you know, like, I tried to come in and play nice, but Jordan is a headache. And it's like, yes. So Jordan is still whining, and she's like, this isn't what I pictured for you after you divorced mom. So there's, I think, some more tension here.
Mhm. Mhm.
And Mark says, well, I didn't plan this. You know, I was traveling to Paris for work all the time, and then I just met Mina. And, you know, I don't think I have to ask permission to have a kid from you.
Right. Right.
Jordan's boyfriend is like playing with this ball and just staring at the baby, just like, can I be anywhere else? Like he wants a portal to come and suck him up and take him to anywhere else. He's like
Yeah.
miserable. He has not said one word. And Mina says, yeah, if we want to have a baby, it's my body and my decision, which is true.
Yeah.
And Jordan goes, this just isn't what I would have wanted for our family.
Okay. And listen, I
Right.
think Jordan is in a bad position. I've never been in that position. I'm sure I'd be very bitter if my parents
Yeah.
got divorced and I was in my 20s and my dad started off with like new babies. You would be like, but I mean, it happens all the time. Happens all the time. Like you look at Kevin Costner, I think he's got 2 or 3 sets of kids. I mean, you've got
Yeah.
like the ones in the 30s, the teenagers and the babies. I mean, like I think it
It
happens a
happens.
lot.
I mean, it's a weird situation for sure, but you're really leaning into this bitchy thing, and you could have gone about this totally differently. And
Mhm.
I'm wondering if the producers are putting this up for her, or if this is
Mhm.
actually her. And I felt like I was charmed by her last time because she was so pretty. And I was
Yeah.
just like, she seems so nice, but she's
Uh-huh.
being bitchy. And I did not expect to be on Team Mina ever on my March bingo cards. That's not what I thought was gonna happen,
Agree.
and it's very
Agree.
weird. So
Also, I
then
think
me
somebody corrected me once that Kevin Costner has 2 sets of kids. He's like kids in their 30s and the kids that are teenagers, and he doesn't have a separate set of like toddlers. So if somebody comes at me, I'm self-correcting. I'm
Oh,
self-correcting.
okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Mina asks Jordan to talk to her alone, and I was like, "Oh god,
Mhm.
Thunderdome."
Mhm.
And so
Thunderdome in
she
Southport. Yeah.
yeah. So she says, I think she says to us, I think Mark is trying to make peace, but today is not a day for peace. It's a day to tell the truth.
Oh, today's the day we've declared the day
Oh
of
god.
truth. Okay. All right.
Okay. Today
Uh-huh.
is not a day for peace. She's like giving a speech like the president in Independence Day. Like today is not a day for peace. It is the day we fight back and we gain our independence. She's gonna go into like Les Mis songs to like a French Revolution.
Yeah.
Like
She's standing her
so
ground though, and Jordan is being super bitchy. So yeah.
Oh, 100%. I'm
Yeah.
totally team Mina right now. And so she tells Jordan, your dad told me that you were mad in Paris and you didn't tell me that you were mad. And that bothered me. And Jordan says, because we don't talk to each other. We never got to know each other. I didn't feel welcome. And we came all that way to celebrate the baby. And I don't feel like we are this big, happy family now, like you guys are trying to act. And Mina says, this is not my fault. It is your dad's. And Jordan says, "Oh yeah, I'm blaming both of you." I but I do feel like you could have made more of an effort. You were 4 hours late to the baptism and you didn't
This has gotten
apologize.
worse and worse because I think when we first
I
talked, they
thought it was
said
3.
2, and now they
Yeah.
said
Now
3,
it's
and now they're saying
4
4. Okay. And by the way,
and
the
you
whole
didn't
party shouldn't even be
apologize.
2 hours, you know?
Yeah. And you never apologized. And Mina says, "Well, for me that's normal. I had to get my hair and makeup done." And Jordan goes, "But we were there celebrating without you."
It's
And
weird. It's weird to be 4 hours late to your own party because of hair and
it's
makeup.
very rude.
Yeah.
And Mina says, "Girl, you don't know my life. Like, don't judge me. You don't know." And Jordan says, "Do you really want more kids?" And Mina says, "Yes, maybe in a couple years." And Jordan says, "Well, maybe I want kids in a couple years. What are they going to be the same age? That's so weird." Okay,
Happens
you
all the
sound like a
time.
baby,
Yeah.
and that is your dad's fault, hun. That is not Mina's fault.
Yeah.
And Mina is in her 30s. She can have another child. And Jordan
He
says,
coulda gotten a vasectomy if he didn't wanna have kids in his
yeah.
50s, you know? Yeah.
And Jordan says, I made it perfectly clear to him that I would be uncomfortable if you had another baby. No one said you get an
A
opinion
choice.
in this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you okay, I'm glad you made it clear to him, but, like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And I'm starting to be like, "Jordan, I'm starting to hate you. Like, who did you vote for?" I have so many questions about Jordan now. Like, I'm really don't understand. I've completely flipped on we only met her for, like, 20 minutes last
Yeah.
time, but I'm still just like, "Jordan, what the heck? It's
Yeah.
not your decision if this woman has a baby or not."
And
And
I don't
so
know, the storyline, like, is it again, is she leaning into it so that at the end of the season they're all one big happy family, or is she going to act this way the whole time? Is it been
Okay,
storyboarded by the
so
production? You know?
100% because there already is a baby, like,
Mhm.
and you seem to be okay with it. You went to the baptism in Paris, but now that there's a second baby, it's like, "Oh my god, that's too far. You can't have a second baby." Like, God forbid, this changes everything, and that just seems so made up to me for the show. Like,
Eh,
I
yeah.
kinda think they actually get along, and they are faking this for the show because
Yeah, that happens sometimes. And I also think this is a conversation to have privately with your dad. Dad, I want you to really think about this if you're going to have another baby. Like, of course, it's your life, but this is really going to affect you. Like, you're 58 years old. You're never going to get to, you're going to be 68 when the kid's 10. I mean, do you want to be like Alec Baldwin? Like, you got to,
and she
yeah,
did say that to him privately, but then he told Mina about it,
yeah. And
which
if we have a
again was a
conversation,
huge
it's
mistake.
between us because I'm your child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to explain that to you? You're a
Yeah.
grown man that sometimes conversations are private.
Yeah.
So Jordan says, "You knew he was." Oh, so Jordan's like, "I told him I would not be happy if you had another baby." And Mina says calmly, "Okay, I have a big problem with that
Mhm.
because it's my
Yeah.
body."
Yeah.
And
Totally.
Jordan says, "You knew he was a lot older than you. So it's common sense. If you want to have more babies, you should pick someone younger. He's my dad, and he has kids in our 20s. He doesn't need to be having babies right now." Again, but there already is one.
The
So,
baby
like,
is right there. It is your sister. You need
it
to
is
get
there.
on board. Yeah.
Yeah. She's so weird. She's just like, "I don't know why, but the second baby is too far." Like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mina says, "Do you think I'm here for the green card and the nice house that has old man smell and is literally on a runway, so
Right.
planes are landing all the time?" And Jordan says, "Yeah, that's my first thought." And the ladies are glaring at each other, but again, it's almost a smirk, and I was like, "Are they just having fun with this scene because they're supposed to for the show?" I was
Right.
very suspicious.
Yeah.
And
Whenever they're
Mina's
smirking like that, it's like because they're trying to conceal a laugh because they planned it. Yeah.
that's what I think. And
Yeah.
then Mina says, "I think you're a snake," which once again, I feel like she's using the word wrong, or it just really bothers her that she said something behind her back, and to her that makes her a snake because she was saying something behind her back and didn't say it to her face.
I think Jordan is a headache is a better description of Jordan
Yeah.
than a
And,
snake.
she goes, "I think you're a snake." And Jordan goes, "You think I'm a snake?" And she said, "Yeah, I think now you don't come to my wedding." And Jordan goes, "You don't want me to come to my dad's wedding?" And she says, "Okay, fine." And she walks off. And
I'm
in the
thinking of it.
previews, I was like, "Mina, how could you not she's the daughter, of course she has to come to the wedding." And now after watching the episode, I'm like, "I wouldn't want her at my wedding either."
I wouldn't want her there either, but also be on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
you started this by being 4 hours late.
yeah.
So,
Or 2 hours or 12. We're not sure.
we don't know. Yeah.
Um, All right, let's move on to Matt and Amani and Ani. I've now written Ani's name and I went through my document and corrected every time I wrote Any, I corrected it to Ahnee, Ani, so that I say it
Ani.
correctly. Yeah. I
Okay.
went through control, find, replace so that I say it right every time.
It's like those skits where they're spelling the people's names wrong on Traders. Did I should send you those? Um,
Oh, yeah.
the TikToks, they're so funny of, like, spelling like Tony is like a picture of a toe and then a picture of a knee, you know? Like,
Because they can't
and
figure out how
there's
to spell Dolores or Sierra
Dolores,
or
there's,
anything
like,
like
umlauts and, like, weird, like, like, letters from other, like, languages. It's very funny.
Okay. So we open up with the three of them in the bed. There's lots of kissing sounds. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, they're so hungry, because they're so sexy. Now here's something that we got a lot of zooming in of, which is this tattoo on his back, which is a hand on top of a hand. He it's the same style of tattoo that she's got, which is looks like a black and white photo. It's a style of tattoo that's very specific. If my daughter was around, I could ask her. But like
Uh-huh.
that, she's got that thing on her arm that looks like a photo, right?
Okay.
That's the
Mhm.
same style of tattoo he has on his back, and it's a hand on top of a hand.
Is it a grown-up hand?
I don't know.
Because on his front, he
He has
has
little feet.
2 little baby feet on his
Right.
chest.
That looks like when you do the baby's feet when they're born, right? The little
Right.
footprint. He has that on his chest, and then on his back, he's got I mean, it covers the whole middle of his back. It's a hand on top of a hand, black and white, and those are the only tattoos it seems that he has, which is very odd. The
Huh.
middle of his back,
Yeah, and
it
his chest. It's weird.
2 little feet on his chest. Okay. Alright. So, I just wrote
Also, it's not sexy. Like, if I was having private time with a gentleman and he has, like, baby feet on his chest,
yeah,
I'd
it's
be
weird.
like, "Now I'm thinking about a baby,
Yeah,
like, am I gonna get pregnant?" Like, I
yeah,
don't want
I don't understand. So I just wrote, "What the hell is this?" They're going to Ensenada today. So in the talking head, Ani alone says, "Last night Amani was sick, and so I had sex with Matt." Okay. In the talking head together, they're all like, "Oh, we're so excited! Like we're getting started on our 2 weeks together. It's great." So in the car, they're talking, which is their car, not a rental car, because they drove there. Um, in the car, they talk about their trip. Now, did you notice that on one window, it's like stickers everywhere, and another window, there's like scribbles, like crayon scribbles. I was like, these people could have just wiped out the car with some Lysol wipes, but it's gross.
Oh, that's like what's his face? The drug guy with the weird jaw.
Like, yes, that looked like a dog was trying to claw its way out of that car. Yes,
Uh,
yes. That's what I looked like where I was like, did a dog try to eat up this windowsill? But no, I think a kid drew crayon all over it. So he's in the front alone, and the 2 women are in the back. Now we assume a cameraman or producer's in the front, but the 2 women are in the back, and he's seemingly alone in the front,
See,
and
again, this is yeah.
they
I
don't
think
like
the 2
him.
women, they don't like him, yeah.
Um, it looks like they packed up to go for 2 months, not 2 weeks. It's packed to the ceiling with shit. And, she tells them that they're gonna meet her brother, and her brother thinks Matt is her boyfriend and Amani is just a friend. And she's like, so I'm just like a third wheel? Like, what are you talking about?" And he's up in the front just smiling, trying, smiling. And Ani says, "No, like, when we get there, I'll explain, like, you're my girlfriend, but it's gonna be hard to explain this, that we're like a threesome. It's hard to explain, but I just need time to explain it correctly." And Amani's like, "Ugh." So Amani goes, "I don't want to be hidden like I've been in the past, because of my culture. And I don't think Ani's taking this seriously. She's trying to hide me." You're talking head. Ani goes, "I'm Catholic. My whole family's Catholic. And, my family is really of the opinion you're only with one person. And I'll have to explain it to them, but I don't want to like lose my family over it. So I've got to sort of explain it slowly." Right.
Again, like, you haven't talked about this? Like, what do you talk about when you guys talk? Wouldn't that conversation have come up? Like, what does your family think about this?
No, because it's all fake,
Yeah,
Kimberly.
yeah. Or
So
they just talk about sex all the
just
time,
sex. Right.
but they don't wanna be sexualized.
Right. So now they're in this new place. The hotel is gorgeous wherever they are in Sonata, I guess. And Amani and Matt are talking. They're in the hot tub and they're talking about how they don't want to be hidden. They want her to be open about it. Ani comes out and gets in the hot tub. And then Matt gets in the hot tub and he's got 2 little feet tattooed on his chest and 2 hands on his back. And what the fuck's happening here is what I wrote. Amani now comes in and gets in the hot tub. And then they're like talking to Matt and they're both like, "Oh, Matt, you're shy. Ooh. What are we doing here?
I thought
What?"
you were like a couple. Why are you acting like this is your first date? Like, it's so weird. Like
2 of these people are married and have children together, and then they're
yeah.
trying to act like, "Oh, Matt, are you shy? It's stupid." And so then Ani says to Amani, "Yesterday when you sleep, he had sex with me." Doesn't sound consensual if you say he had sex with me. Sounds like he had sex on you or something. And Amani's like, "What? You did?" And it's like, "I just want to be treated with consideration. First, I'm hidden from your family, and now you had sex on her. What?" Like, it's stupid. They're in a throuple.
I
Okay.
think it's so funny that Amani clearly had, like, traveler's diarrhea
Yeah.
and is in the bathroom, and
Montezuma's Revenge or whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and they're just doing it like
Well, that's the whole thing too, is I was wondering, like, did she fall asleep because she took something because she's like, "Oh my god, like, I'm sick. I gotta take, like, my Imodium and my
Right.
Xanax to knock myself out," and they're like, "She asleep? Tap, tap, tap. Is this thing on? Tap, tap, tap.
Yeah.
She's asleep? Alright, let's go."
Yeah.
And the talking head, Matt says, "After round 1,
Oh god.
we tried to initiate again with Amani, but she was feeling sick, so we just did it without her, and I figured as long as we're all there and she was passed out, it was fine." So
I
he's
mean,
like,
yeah, you would think that. We just all had sex with each other. Like, these are not rules that they have established
they've
already.
established no rules, and anytime
Yeah.
you ever see any kind of polyamorous situation, everything is very well boundaries laid out,
Mhm.
rules established.
Yep.
So he's like, "Oh, we haven't come up with rules for this, and now I feel like they're, like, ganging up on me, like, I gotta read the minds of 2 women now?" Yeah,
I
that's what
hate women.
I
Why
s
did I choose to be with 2 of them?
I
Also, they
specifically
look
hate
the
these 2
same.
women. Yeah.
These 2 women look the same, so why I don't even get the point. Like, it's just, like, weird. It's just also it's weird that you wanna be with a girl who looks exactly like you. Like, you just wanna sleep with your twin, and then
Yeah.
he wants, like, 2 clone ladies. Like, it's
Well, Amani is a solid 2 feet shorter
yeah,
than
that's true.
Ani.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
She
But
does look like
when
the
they're
little
sitting
sister.
down,
Yeah.
it's all the same.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, when they're, like, in bed together, I could never tell which one is which.
Oh, well,
When
that
they're all, like,
yes.
rolling around together, it's just, like, 2 dark-haired ladies.
Wow. You're right. Okay, let's move on to Shawn and Alliya. Okay. So, by the way, I'm gonna take it back what I said last week about thinking she got the forehead surgery because, this week I could tell she has not. So maybe she had gotten some bangs in that
Oh,
episode where I
okay.
thought because she talked about wanting to get her brow
Yeah.
bone shaved down. Because I was thinking to myself, "My god, if you got that, it seems like you would have some sort of scar or something," but maybe they just laparoscopically I can't think about it.
I
Um,
don't think so. I think they shaved down the bone,
I know, but how do they get in
like
there?
with the Adam's apple surgery.
Yeah, how do they get in there? They gotta cut that open?
Yeah. Or
Ugh.
they go might go down lavish.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. They
Anyway,
might go
she's beautiful
you're
either
right.
way, whatever.
They might
She's
go up the nose. I don't know how
Whoa!
they do it.
Oh, 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 oh,
No,
mm.
because I saw a YouTube video with a trans, woman that I follow, and she talked about her surgery, and she had massive scars because they
Okay.
literally did, like, pull things and cut things, and
Uh-huh.
they literally did, like, a face off, like,
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yes, face off. I know. Okay, this is giving me the, bad feelings, so let's go on to something else. Okay. Shawn and Alliya. So, Shawn and Alliya, I'm happy they're on the TV because I really think Alliya is just a bright light of happiness. So,
Yeah.
she comes out of her meeting. She says, "I'm approved." She's very excited. She calls Shawn and says, "I'm approved. I'm so excited." And they're like,
That was
"Oh
such
god,
a fake out last week, the previews.
we knew it, but we again, not a fake out because they started the season with her in
Yeah,
the States. It's
that's
not a
true.
fake out."
It's for
So
people not paying attention, a fake out.
yeah, maybe. So they said, "We've waited for so long." And he's like, "I know. And now when you get here, we'll have to start planning the wedding." And she's like, "Yeah, and I'm going to meet all your family." And he says, "Well, that might not be as fun." And she twerks for him. And I love it every time she does it.
She just always twerks.
Always
That's
twerking.
her
Yeah.
expression of joy.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Um,
Like, it's like a dog wagging its tail, like,
it
literally, like,
is.
"I'm gonna
Yeah. She's
shake
like,
my butt." Yeah.
yeah. So, in her talking head, she says, "It was a big risk to go in there as myself, but I was treated with respect. They asked me how I wanted to be spoken to. I said as Aliyah, and she felt very respected. She got approved, so that was great.
I'm so glad.
Me too. It was like it could have been a
There
bad
are still
choice.
some good people out there.
That's right. So now he goes to a gay bar called Trunks, and he meets his mom, Jeannie. It's spelled Jeanne, Jeanne, Jeannie or Jean. I think Jeannie.
Mhm.
Anyways, mom, she's
Wait, I-N-I-E or
mm-mm,
just E?
Jeanne, Jeannie,
Interesting.
Jean. Because sometimes Jean is
Yeah.
J-E.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call her Jeannie. And if it's Jean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So mom seems very cool. So if he's 62, let's just say his mom is 85. I think he says later his mom's
Mhm.
85.
80
His,
something, yeah.
his mom's hip,
Very
very hip,
hip.
very hip. He's talking Eddie says his mom has met Douglas and also Alliya. His mom has been with him through the whole journey. He tells his mom everything. They're very close. He was living with her when he met Douglas. It was during the pandemic. And also, his kids currently do not know Alliya exists, much less that they're engaged. And my
Oh
question
my
is,
god.
do they watch TLC? Did no one tell them? Because they've been on a whole other season. So how do the kids not know?
Yeah,
It,
how does no one in their life watch
tell
the
them.
show and forwarded
Yeah.
this to them?
And nobody in Los Angeles told
And
his
how do
kids.
you not tell your kids you're on a TV show?
Right. So that's not true. None of that's true. I don't like that. Are the
Or
kids like
he's, like,
super, super sheltered?
estranged
Yeah.
from his
Yeah.
children, like
Yeah. There's not any way that their dad was on this show a full
because
season and nobody told them.
this is not like hiding it from someone's parents and they live in the
Brazil.
Philippines or
Yes.
something, and it like, this is an American show that has commercials on constantly for
Yeah.
it, so
Yes.
there's no way that somebody wouldn't be like, "I just saw your dad
Yeah.
on 90
Yeah.
Day Love in
Yes.
Paradise."
Yeah. At least one of the kids. So, and he says, and the reason I never told them is the relationship kept changing. It's like another country, a much younger person was a man, is now a female. Like, it was a lot. Okay, well, then probably you should have told them from the beginning and all of it wouldn't be so shocking at
Yeah.
one time.
Mhm.
So he tells his mom, the countdown will start soon for the 90 days. And mom says, he says, the difference between like Douglas and Alliya is pretty stark. And mom goes, oh gosh, yes. When I met Douglas, Douglas was so shy. But then Alliya talks to me a lot. So that's, great. I love it. There's a big
Mhm.
difference between the two. And mom says, we're going to have like a meet and greet for everybody to meet her. And he goes, well, obviously the kids know something's going on because I keep going to Brazil and it's not going to be an easy conversation to have. It's going to be like, oh, by the way, I'm dating a person from Brazil who is 25, is also transgender, and we're engaged and we have 90 days to get married. He said, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot.
Mhm.
Again, if you would have just, like everybody on the show, just tell them
Mhm.
from the beginning, you ease into it.
Mhm.
And the mom says, oh, yeah, I don't
How old
know.
is he again?
62.
If 62, okay.
Yeah. And mom says, yeah, your kids are very stubborn and they're going to get all together and chatter about you. And he says, oh, I know. They're going to be in a group text. And he goes, I don't know. I guess I could tell them on the phone and then bring her around and then they can just talk about me behind my back. And mom goes, yeah, yeah. And the mom goes, another thought is, how is Alliya going to feel? Which I liked mom saying like, okay, that's how you're going to feel and the kids are going to feel. But how's Alliya going to feel coming into this
Of
situation?
course,
Which
Shawn is like, "Oh, yeah, totally forgot about
Oh, yeah,
her.
I'm
I
sure she'll be
forgot."
fine. She'll be
Yeah.
fine. The talking head mom says, look, I hope those kids don't cause any family drama. And the kids really actually, I love them. They're my grandkids. They should be happy for him. It's his life. I hope they don't like screw this up for him, which is really sweet. And I think the
I don't
mom could have a talk with him as well.
That's true, she could. Also, are they terrible? Because she keeps going, "I love them, but"
But uh-huh.
like, are they terrible? Are they
I think
spoiled?
I think they
What's
might be
going Are
terrible.
they Jordan? Are they
Mhm.
like
Times 3. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so in Brazil, Aliyah's mom comes over. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Cleusa. It's like Clusa, Klausa.
I
Just
don't
gonna
know.
call her mom. Just gonna call her mom.
Just call her mom.
Mom comes over. Mom has brought food over to make this dessert, and she's like, "Oh, you can't eat it all. You got to watch your curves." And they kind of laugh, and um, Aliyah says, "I'm sad because this will be our last meal together for a while." And Aliyah says she is worried about Shawn's children because he has not told them yet. She loves Shawn's mom. Shawn's mom is great. And she's like, is he embarrassed of me? Like, I don't know why he hasn't told them. And I hope when I get there, he's going to protect me and be my protector. And the mom in the talking head goes, "Why hasn't he told his children? Is he ashamed of her? Like, I don't basically, like, I don't want her to go there and literally have nobody. Nobody's protecting her. And he's
Mhm.
supposed to be like the fiance and be her protector, but he's
Mhm.
not doing that by not telling the kids." Talking head Alliya says, "My mother is my best friend and my main support. Has always been very supportive of me, and my mom wants me to be myself and live my life, as Leah. And my mom feels very worried that Shawn will leave me because of the full transition that she wants to make. And my mom worries that he feels ashamed of me. And we're just hoping that when I get there, Shawn will protect me." It's just a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm very worried.
Very worried too. Um, Also, a listener wrote, and I'm not going to give this listener credit because I've forgotten her name that wrote it, but she wrote this long thing out and I tagged you. It was a Facebook post and just said that the reason Alliya is so like free within wanting to like dress this way and all this stuff is like when a person, this was their experience, when a person is transgender and they come into their new identity, it's like they're a rebellious teenager, right? They're like, they never got to
Mhm.
have that like teenager phase as this
Yeah.
person. So they kind of start over that way. Like, I'm going to be like, I never got to be a girl as a teenager. So now I'm going to start
Yeah.
from there, which is, it totally makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
very
And
interesting. Like,
also, like, her being like, "I'm not gonna be hidden because and I'm
yeah.
not gonna change because I've been hiding for so long." And Amani said the same thing, like,
Mhm.
I've been hiding my whole life, so now I'm out and loud and proud because
Mhm.
I'm swinging in the opposite direction of
Yeah.
being, like, embarrassed or hiding or ashamed.
Yeah.
I'm no longer ashamed. Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna be in your face,
Yeah,
and you have
and
to
good for
accept it.
them.
Yeah,
Do
accept
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want the best for Alliya. Alliya's a sweet baby angel that needs to be protected.
Sweet baby freaking angel, Alliya, like, I'm so disheartened by that preview where she just seems so sad here and says she has, like, nobody.
I know. Oh, so many people, get that when they come here. They're like, "Oh, it's gonna be great. It's the American dream," but then they have
Yeah,
nobody but their
I know.
person that they're with, and that's in any scenario, you shouldn't just have your partner. You gotta have friends. You gotta have, like, a full life, you
Mhm.
know? So, next time on, Sarper and Shekinah go to the beach to act out a Baywatch fantasy,
Yeah,
and,
that should
that
be good
tracks.
TV.
That should be
Yeah.
good TV. Greg and Joan meet with these 2 guys, I don't know if it's a brother or cousin or what, who says, "Realistically, are you gonna try to get a real job and move out of your parents' house?" And he goes, "Yeah, yeah, that's our plan, but, like, I don't wanna rent, so, maybe 1 or 2 years at mom's house."
He has not planned this at all. There's a huge difference between 1 and 2 years.
And I think he told her, like, 3 months.
Yeah. Do you have a budget? Like, do you have any
Mm.
plan whatsoever?
And why are you snobby about renting?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's throwing money down the toilet when they could be living with the mom. But if she's freaking miserable living with the mom, it
Yeah.
would be worth it.
Yeah, totally. And so when he says 1 to 2 years, then a talking head, Joan says, "If I would have known that really he's thinking 1 to 2 years, I would not have come here." Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's right. Um, Maddie says he misses his parent. He's talking to Stevi, and he says he misses his parents. Of course, he does think about ways that he could possibly go back. And she says, talking to him about this is the first time I've ever questioned his motives. We think this is all fake, but I think they're fine.
Yeah, I think they're fine.
They just need
Also,
something.
he can still meet the parents in, like, Turkey, right?
I I believe so.
That's
I
what people
believe.
told us.
Yeah, yeah, that's what people said. Shawn and Alliya talk, and, she says to him, "If you didn't have to marry me for me to come here, would you still want to marry me?" Which is a good question.
Mhm.
And he goes, "No, I don't have a big need to get married, like, I've been married, I don't so, no." And then she says, "I'm not sure if I'm gonna marry him if he still feels this way at the end of 90 days," because she wants him to say, like, "Yes, no matter what, I wanna marry you no matter what," but he's like, if you coulda just come here as my girlfriend and moved in, like, I don't need to get married, I've already" so but that wasn't the right answer.
It totally wasn't, but I get it's a thing again with this huge age differences. It's one
Right.
person has been there, done that, and they don't need the paperwork again. It doesn't matter to them,
Uh-huh.
and they don't need the ceremony. But then you have a young woman who's like, "This is I want my dream wedding. I want to be married and like live that dream."
Yeah.
And he's like already done that, you know.
Yeah. So I see his point, but it was the wrong answer.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. It'd have been like, it's just been like, I wasn't getting married again, wasn't on my radar, but if that means I can be with you, then that's great. So we're getting married and I love you and that's wonderful, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so Amani is acting mad that Ani had sex with Matt, and she
When
keeps saying she
when
feels
she was pooping
when she was
and vomiting.
pooping or whatever was happening, she feels disrespected. And he was like, how would I have known this? There are no rules in place. I didn't know. Do I have to ask permission? So he's saying to her, do I have to ask permission? And she says, yes. So she's in charge.
So, like, they're, like, in bed together, and he has to stop what's happening and, like, go knock on the bathroom door. Be like, "Honey, I know you are vomiting right now, but can I stick it in? Like, is that okay?"
Right. What are the rules? The rules are if he wants to have sex with Ani alone, he has to ask Amani. So does that same rule apply when they go back home 45 minutes away? Does he have to call Ani on the phone and say, is it
Right, and
okay
say,
if I have sex with my wife? Yeah.
"With my wife." Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good point.
And do the two of them have to ask Matt if they want to go off together?
Right.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
They need to
Hmm.
establish some rules.
So
And
back
if
in
you're
Southport.
poly, let
Hmm.
us know what your rules are. I'm
Right.
kinda curious. If you all live together, like, do you have like, I understand if you, like, have to arrange for a meeting to have sex, but if you're all,
Yeah.
like, together and something might just happen naturally, do you have to, like, stop and go and wherever the other person is, like golfing or something, and ask them? Like,
Yeah, golfing. I was gonna tell you, this new show is coming out on TLC, and the name of the show is Polly Family, and, it's coming out on April 29th, so at the end of April, and,
I'm interested. I watched a show on HBO with several poly couples,
mhm.
and it was like, there was one that had 4 people, and there was so much jealousy and complication.
Poly
There's
Family is 4 people. It's 2 couples that joined, and then the
okay.
men swap up
Yeah.
with the women, but the women aren't
Uh-huh.
together and the men aren't together, and so I'll see. I'll see as I get closer if I have time where I can fit it in. I know Amy Archer's gonna cover it on her free feed, so I might just roll it into Hey Bunky as a, like, let's chat about it, but not cover it fully, because likely I won't have time to fit that in. Okay. Still
I
at
mean, you
the
still don't have time for Muslim matchmaking, so
I don't, and that kills me, actually. Um, so at the end, we're still doing next time on. The last thing we see is back in Southport, not Bald Head Island. Mina is
you're
like,
so bitter.
I'm so like, they told me Bald Head was going to be featured, and Bald Head is not featured. You can't see it standing from where they were in Southport. I think they were looking at Oak Island. Okay. Back in Southport, Mina is like, she can't come to my wedding. And Jordan is leaving. And Mark says, look, if Mina can't get along with Jordan, maybe we can't get married. And Mina says, I'm going back to New Hampshire, slams the bathroom door. And he's like,
I'm
I
gonna go
didn't
hang
blah,
with
blah, blah,
Martini Pat.
blah, blah, blah,
Martini
blah,
Pat
blah.
will listen to me.
This is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And he grumbles old man style and slams the door. That's it. That's the
It's
end of the
going
show,
great.
guys. That's
At
it.
least she didn't say, "I'm going back to Paris."
True. True. How
She'd
she's
rather
getting
go
back
back
to
and
New
be
Hampshire, I don't know. I
I'm
don't
gonna go
know.
back and be eaten by a bear
Mhm. Mhm.
rather than talk to your daughter.
I would rather be in Southport, honestly. Um,
They
Kimberly.
both look pretty.
Okay. Kimberly, a date with Dateline. I did text you earlier this week to make sure you're going to cover what was on Friday.
Yeah.
As a woman got killed. Her name was Desiree.
Yes.
Yes. And
De
speaking of
Yep,
Polly, there's a
yep.
lot of swinging and swapping going on that episode.
Uh-huh.
It was hard
Yeah.
to keep track
And
of.
there were no rules that were established, and there was lying about what was
Lots of
happening.
lying.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the show that you guys will be covering. It's Friday nights, Dateline. They cover that on Wednesday on A
Yeah.
Date with Dateline, and it's good, clean fun is what it is.
It really is. It's good,
It really
clean
is.
murder. It's fun.
Good,
Yeah.
clean murder. No cursing. No cursing on that show.
No,
Do you ever accidentally say a bad word and then you have to cut it out?
I don't think I ever have. Maybe
Really?
once. Yeah, and then
Just over
she
here,
cuts
you
it
just
out.
let it fly?
Let her hear it. I just don't do it that bad much here, but
No,
and I still feel guilty when I do it because I've trained myself.
I know that's great though. That's great in life because my mouth is a complete sewer and I have to really, really watch it. And I cursed last night on the Yellow Jackets thing right at the beginning, but then I caught
You
myself.
cursed so many times last night.
I said the F word right at first. And I said, I'm so sorry. And then I
I did. I
tried to
heard
never
the
say it again.
SH word several times, and I don't know if Katie had a reaction, but I was just like, I don't know how I marked this. It's more about like, did I mark this properly, or are we going to get taken down? I don't know if you have to mark
Oh,
it
please. You
explicit or
don't think you
something.
no, you can't, not for SHIT.
I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know how it works.
no.
All I
All
know is
right.
our podcast is marked clean,
I know.
so we're
Well,
not supposed
mine
to.
was marked clean for a while because my producer was like, it's better to ask for forgiveness. Go ahead and mark it clean. I go, well, we'd say a lot of gross stuff and it's
Mhm.
definitely explicit. Um, yeah. So if you are going to ever have Keisha on to talk about Yellow Jackets, you'll have to tell her beforehand
Yeah,
because she curses worse than I do.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she really does. Um, Everybody follow Kimberly and Katie over there on Instagram. Follow me at Pink Shade Pod. Kimberly and Katie, everything is at Dateline. If you just start typing in date and date, it'll pop up. And if you like Kimberly and I together, or even if you don't, we're covering the Baldwins over on Pink Shade Prime. That's on the $10 level. You can get it there. You just sign up in the show notes or just go over to pinkshadepodcast.com and you can sign up. And we're loving the Baldwins, and we don't care who knows it.
I mean, I still have a little shame, but I'm working with my therapist to let go
Okay,
of it.
good.
Yeah.
I don't have a therapist right now, so I'm just working it through with you.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.